Well, hi there, kids. It's so good to see you. You're like, oh, now you're already creeped out. You're like, okay, hit the next video. This guy's nuts. A little bit. Hey, listen, if you're here to get the answers to the New York State June 2014 Common Core exam, we're going to be doing parts. Me and my coffee, I guess we meaning you and I are going to be doing parts 2, 3, and 4. I will be helping you get the solutions to all of these problems and so many more. But, and I stress this enough, if you haven't done the work and you're here just to watch me perform like a monkey, you're at the wrong place, kids. You're at the wrong place. I'm here to help you, but if you ain't going to help yourself, you're at the wrong place. You got to do these problems by yourself. You got to get mad. You got to throw something across the room. You got to tell your parents, get out of the room. Math sucks. I hate math. Blah. And then eventually you're like, whoa, wait a second. I figured that out. That was awesome. Wait, I figured that out. That was awesome. That's how math goes. It's just about how anything that's important in life goes. If you don't know, if you can't figure it out at first and you work hard to figure it out, that's cool. All right, kids, enough of the lecture. Hit the subscribe button. If you got a comment me, okay? Don't give me any crappy, stupid comments. Just give me, if you got a question, send a question. I usually try to answer them very quickly. They pop up on my phone usually, and I try to get back as fast as possible. But hit the subscribe button. More subscribers I got, the better I can do things on YouTube. So here we go, kids. I think we're on page 12. Yes, we are. Problem 25. So the first thing you want to do is you got to understand that you have to show some kind of work. That's what all this blah, 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 blah. You better show some work. Otherwise, you're not going to get credit. So the easiest way to do this, quite frankly, I could go on the calculator just to kind of get an idea what this looks like. But I hope you know that a square root function looks something like that. And we don't really want to take the square root of anything negative because we're not in trig yet. And in trig, we'll figure out about imaginary numbers. So I want to take all the things I can take the square root of. So for example, if I plug in a 0, here, the square root of 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 is -1. So I can plot that point. I can go 1, I don't know the square. Oh, wait, yeah, I do know the square root of 1. The square root of 1 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. I can plot that point. 2, that's not 3. That's not going to work. 4, I can take the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So that's 4, 1. And 5, no. 6, no. 7, no. 8, no. 9, I can take the square root of 9. And the square root of 9 is 3. And 3 minus 1 is 2. And if I come over here and I just plot these points, 0, -1, 1, 0, 4, 1, and 9, 2. Now, did it say where to graph from to? So I got to start here. And I need to put an arrow at the end stating that it goes off in that direction. Now, if you don't like that and you want to graph it on your graphing calculator, go ahead. It's the square root of x, get out of the square root, -1. By the way, I'm using a TI Inspire. I'll try to put a link in the show notes on how to get this calculator. It's a rather expensive calculator, but if you put it over time in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, it's a great calculator. If your school doesn't have them, they are doing you a disservice. It is a fantastic calculator. And I don't get paid by them. So there's the graph of what it looks like. Oh, I was just trying to grab that. There's the graph of what it looks like. Should look something like that, and that's what mine looks like. And if I want to go to the table, I hit Control-T, goes over the table, and you'll notice anything above 0, I get these errors, right? Because, you know, you don't want to take the square root of a negative. So, but if I plug in 0, I get 1, or -1. If I plug in 1, I get 0. 2 is annoying, 3 is annoying, 4, hey, look how nice 4 is. 5's annoying. 5's annoying, 6 is annoying, 7 is annoying, 8's annoying. Oh, look at 9, 9, 2, and there it is. There's my points. But you do need to put this table here because it shows work. If you don't have the table there, no work. Ooh, every time I finish a problem, I drink my delicious Dunkin' Donuts coffee made from my Dunkin' Donuts K-Cups. Oh yeah, I'm looking for a sponsor, but I don't really care because I'm just going to drink your coffee anyway. And I switched from Brugger's, which I wasn't really drinking anyway. I was just using their cups because I had their cups. Okay. So now you have to, and this is going to draw back on what you've learned in science and in mathematics. I'm going to highlight the thing here. The equation is here. Here's my equation. where t is time, and P of t represents the amount of the substance left. And I guess that's it. They want us to explain what in the world the 0.5 is and the 300 is. Well, I hope your teachers taught this to you. P of t equals a sub 0, 1, it's either plus or minus the percent raised to the time. Now, notice it's 1 plus or minus. The 1 represents the 100% of the stuff I have. By the way, this is not necessary for this explanation. This is just me trying to help you out understand stuff. The 1 represents the 100%. So if I add 5%, I would have 1.05. That would be a number bigger than 1. So if I'm adding, it's going up, which means we have exponential growth. If I'm adding, this is exponential growth. But notice my number in the parentheses is less than 1. I must have done something like 1 minus 0.5. That's 50%. This is exponential decay. So in your explanation, you need to say, hey, this is an exponential decay problem. And the 0.5 represents, sorry, what in the world am I writing? You know, the problem was I just came off, Right. The problem is I'm at the, there we go. Now I was at the bottom of my tablet here. Represents 50% of the remaining amount. Which is to say, after each year, 50% is left. The 300, or a sub 0, the number in front, in this case the 300 that's in front, that represents my starting amount. So the 300, again, here I am at the bottom of my page, the 300 represents the starting amount. The key things on this one, and the way you're going to get your 2 points on this problem, is 1, to tell me that the 300 was the starting amount of whatever the substance is, and that the 0.5 represented an exponential decay. If it was bigger than 1, it would be exponential growth, but because it's less than 1, it's exponential decay. All right, so kind of a tricky question here. It said determine the largest value of A when x is -1. Now, by plugging in -1, especially with an inequality problem, they are really trying to get at you. I meant trick you. So we're going to plug in that -1. Now this is -2 minus A minus 7 greater than -12. You have to show your work. -A minus 9 greater than -12. Add 9. I mean, I don't have to show this work. Sorry, I'm at the bottom of my page again. And I get -A is greater than -3. But I don't have A by itself. I have -A. So I have to divide by a negative. And here's where they tried to trick you. A, and this is just +3, is less than 3. Remember, when you divide by a negative, you have to switch the sign. So I want A is less than 3. Not equal to 3, less than 3. Tricky problem of a tricky part of this problem number 2. It says just name the largest integer. And most kids, when they did that, if they remembered the fact that you had to switch the sign, gave an answer of 3 that year. And the actual answer is A equals 2 is the largest integer, less than 3. Remember, it's got to be less than 3, not equal to 3. And the largest integer, that means no decimal, that's less than 3 is 2. tricky question. That was a tough question, not going to lie. Lots of weird stuff going on there. All right, so I'm going to... This is one you either remembered or you don't remember it. The fact that the vertex here is 2, -1. 2, -1. I could put that in there and draw my parabola in if I wanted to. I wonder if there's a way to do this graphically. I might try to do this graphically. If it doesn't work, I'll cut it out. But you have to remember that when we are doing transformations, this is a transformation problem. If I do f of x plus or minus 2, that means it's going up or it's going down. This is a horizontal shift. However, when I do it on the inside of the parentheses, and I hope your teacher taught this to you, this is a shift to the right or the left. Now, this one's easy. It's just normal. It goes up if it's positive. It goes down if it's negative. This one's the tricky one, which is why they asked this on the question. When I subtracted 2, that means it's a shift right 2. So, therefore, if my vertex is 2, -1, and I shift it to the right 2, and I can look at this graphically, to the right 2, 1, 2, my new vertex is going to be 4, -1. Now let's see if I can look at this graphically. I don't think I can, but let's see. Let's just see. X squared minus 4x plus 3. So x squared minus 4x plus 3. And there it is. The vertex is there. Now I'm going to try to do x minus 2. So what I want to do is that exact same thing, but I'm going to use x minus 2 in there. And I think I can do this. Maybe I can. It's kind of tricky. You got to understand how to do it. It works, but I'm going to plug in x minus 2 squared minus 4. Remember, we're not doing x, we're doing x minus 2, and then plus 3. Type that in. Oh, look at that. My vertex moved to the right, and there it is at 4, -1. So yeah, that worked. You can do it that way. Awesome. I think that problem's over in the world of my Math for Life class. Bodied. What problem are we on? 29. 29. All right. What? Seriously? Okay, seriously, this is probably one of the simplest questions. I can't even believe this is a Common Core question. So I can't blow it up too much. Let me write the equation here off to the side. Y equals -3 over 4x plus 3. So at least I can blow it up a little bit. All right. So my y-intercept is 3. My slope says go down 3 and to the right 4. Down 3 and to the right 4. Up 3 and to the left 4. Up 3 and to the left 4. Now, for those of you that don't know or haven't seen my videos in a while, to draw a straight line with the software and stuff that I'm using is really, 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 really hard. You would grab a straight edge, but I can't put a straight edge down because I don't know where it is. I can't line it up on these dots. I wish I had like a virtual straight edge. That's what I got to get OneNote to do, a virtual straight edge for me. Okay. Okay. Well, that's the graph of it. There's a little more piece to it. That's the easy part so far. Then I want to take, and we'll graph a purple point, and it says, is the point 3, 2 a solution of the equation? Explain your answer based on the graph drawn. That means you can't plug it in and show it algebraically. You have to base it based on the graph shown. So 1, 2, 3, 2. So you would have to say no and give some sort of explanation. And it can be just as simple as, based on the graph above, the point 3 comma 2 is not a solution because it does not lie on the line. That's it. By the way, you can tell why I'm a math teacher, not an English teacher. Handwriting's terrible. 16, here we go. So, the function f is defined as the domain. The domain is this, and the range is this. And it says, could f be represented by this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it. You have to justify your answer somehow. So you might as well show a little bit of work. And I'm going to do so using a mapping function. Do you remember mapping function, domain? Might as well show some kind of work. Range. Let me take my cool blue pen out. And 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6. And 1, 2 means 1 maps to 2. 3, 4 means 3 maps to 4. 5, 6 means 5 maps to 6. And 7, 2 means 7 maps to 2. So the answer is yes. Now, you have to understand why. By the way, you can't just say an explanation. You have to state an answer and then give me an explanation and then justify. By the way, justify, this isn't even justifying your answer. This is just more work. Yes, since each member of the domain, or since each number in the domain maps to one and only one member or number in the range, it is a function. Now, could you have done it easier or simpler than that? Yeah, you wouldn't sound as smart. You could have just said, since there are no repeating x values, this is a function. Yes, it is a function. All right, moving on. Factor completely. Factor complete. This word right here, let me highlight this word for you. Let me tell you what this word means. This word means you are not done. You'll see what I mean by it in a second. Let's go. The x to the fourth messed every kid up that year. I don't know why. It's just x squared and x squared. The next number you look at is this 7. It's actually negative 7. There's really only one way to multiply to negative 7. And that would be 7 times 1. One of them has to be negative. Since they have to add up to 6, then this has to be positive and this has to be negative, because this gives me negative x squared and positive 7x squared, and those multiply to 6x squared. But you are not done. Whenever the words completely are on there, means you've got more work to do. You're not finished. I hope that you all recognize this right here as the difference of perfect squares. I should have probably, that's a terrible highlighter, as the difference of perfect squares. So we have to keep going on this one in particular. So my final answer is you can't touch x squared plus 7. It is just x squared plus 7. But this is the difference of perfect squares. X plus 1, x minus 1. And that, kids, is the final answer. So remember, completely means you're not done. There's got to be a little bit more work to do. 17. Use an appropriate scaled box plot. I got to create a box plot. So these 15 values. So I'm going to grab my calculator. Home, go into this mode. And we'll call this, I don't even know. We'll just call it X for now. I don't like using X. Let's use P. It doesn't really matter. So 4, 3, 3.5. 4, 3, 3.5, 2, 2. 4.55, 4.55, 2.5, 3, 1.5. One of the most missed problems on these is not putting the numbers in accurately. 4, 3, 1, 1.5, and 2.5. Now, I also needed to make sure I have 15 numbers. I do. I'm going to triple check my numbers here because if I made a mistake, that would be stupid. So 4, 3, 4, 3. 3.522, got it. 4.55, 4.55, and then 2.52, 3, 1.5. 431, 431, 1.5, 2.5. So I'm good. Come up here. I want to do the 5-number summary again. So I'm going to go into Menu, Stats, Stat Calculations, and 1 Variable Statistics, 1 list. And I call this list P. Oh, see, I had an X in there before. So I'm going to call this list P. And there it is. Now, I need to write down as much information as I can. So I'm going to write down my X bar is 2.86 repeating. I don't know if I need it, but I'm going to write it down. Why not? Remember, if you get some extra credit, 2.86 repeating is my X bar. Remember, this really stands for the mean. I really just need the 5-number summary. And the 5-number summary is my min, my max, and the quartiles. So 1, 2, 3, what? Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So min, 1, max, 5, quartile 1, quartile 2, or this is the median, and quartile 3. Oh, shut up, Cortana. I said quartile, and she said Cortana. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Well, that's really annoying. So, anyway, now I have to come up with an appropriate scale. What number am I working on? Yeah, all right, 1, 2, 3. It's weird it came out to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they were trying to trick you. I need to come up with an appropriate scale on this box and whisker. So I got to get the 5. So if I just call this 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's boring. Since I have to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since I have to get to 1.5, actually I really don't have to because I only got 1s. But this spreads it out a little better. It looks nice. Did I miss one? 0. I forgot 2. I knew that would be really bad. By the way, hit the subscribe button. I will make more mistakes and you'll have more fun making fun of me. 4, 5. So if you remember for fun, the box plot looks like this. We'll put a dot at the min. We'll put a dot at the max. And then we have to create a box for the quartile scores. Box plot, box and whisker plot, and 3 goes down the middle. What does this stand for? I like to put a title on it too, right? Number of hours watched. So number of hours Robin watched TV. Done. Well, that was a dumb problem. Well, can you notice I changed shirts? That's because I finished this video, uploaded it, checked it out, and noticed that the audio was not in sync with the video. So, I mean, if you go back and look at the end of problem 32, you see my mouse moving, but the words aren't coming out of my mouth, so I get to do this over again. Yay! So I just erased it. We're ready to rock and roll for this last little bit. I want to make sure it sounds and looks good. You know, this mug's already ugly enough. You don't need it to sound bad either. So, something I probably ought to point out in some of my videos, but I don't think I actually do enough of is, we're now on the 4-point questions. These are not 2-point questions. These are not going to be just straightforward questions. There's always either going to be multiple parts to the question, as probably, I think in this case, multiple parts. Yeah, a couple parts. But they're usually harder and got more things to do. So we want to define m of x as a trinomial. So when you're done, you should have m of x equals something x squared, something x, and then a constant. Okay? A trinomial. So that's what we want to end up with. So let's see how we're going to do this. Let's go. We'll double distribute here. So I get m of x equals, this is going to be 9x minus 3x squared minus 3 plus x plus 4x squared plus 19. All right, so let's clean this up. This and this make x squared. That's good. 9 and 1 make 10. And negative 3 and positive 19 make positive 16. So that's that. Relatively straightforward. Nothing wrong there. There's my trinomial. And then it says solve for when m of x equals 0. And I'm going to tell you, we had a number of kids this year just take 0, plug it in, and tell us the answer was 16. No, they're saying m of x is equal to 0. So what we're going to plug the 0 in for is this side. So really what they're telling you to do is factor this sucker. So we're going to take this. We have right now m of x equals x squared plus, was it plus 10x? Plus 10x plus 16. And they say, okay, m of x is equal to 0. So this is equal to 0. So now they're saying, okay, 0 is equal to x squared plus 10x plus 16. So 0 is equal to x and x plus 2 and plus 8. Not done yet, though. We still need to solve for x. And in this case, x is equal to negative 2. And x is equal to negative 8. If you want to look nice, you put your answers in curly brackets or braces. Done. Problem's over. That was a simple one. Keep moving. This one, however, not so simple. So let's see. I used to ask these questions in pre-calc. Now they decide that algebra kids should be doing them, so that's okay. A rectangular garden measuring 12 by 16 meters. Thanks, Dunkin' Donuts, for nothing, but your coffee's delicious. Was that a good commercial? What do you think? That was a pretty good commercial. Yeah. They should be beating down my door now. Yeah. Anyway, 12 by 16. We're going to put a walkway around it. That's going to measure the same distance. Boom, boom, boom. And together, my new area is going to be 396 square meters. Now, I hope that you guys know that length area is equal to length times width. So in this case, area, which is in this case going to equal 396. So really what I got to do is find out what is the length and what is the width. Well, from here to here, this length right here is 12. And then if I add an x here and I add an x here, this whole length then would be 12 plus those two x's I just. So that would be the width. I can do the same thing with the length. From here to here is 16, because this is 16. So from here to here is 16, and then I add x and I add x. So this length, which I don't have enough room for, is going to be 16 plus 2x. Now, I don't really like writing them like that. I'll put the 2x's first next time I write it because addition is commutative and I'm allowed to do that. So write an equation that can be used to find x. Okay, wait. It said together the walkway and garden will have an area of 396. Okay, so write an equation, no problem. 2x plus 12 times 2x plus 16 has to equal 396. And then it wouldn't be Common Core if they actually asked you, how do you know your equation models the situation? All right, so let's see if we can figure out how to answer that. The area formula for a rectangle is length times width. If we add x to the width on both sides, our new length width terrible width is 12 plus 2x. Same for length. Same for the length. Sub into the formula to get my equation. I'm not exactly sure what they're looking for. I mean, geez, you showed the work up here and describe. Well, okay, that's a kind of a description. I don't know. I think they're reaching kind of hard for that one. So now we're going to determine. Now what they really want you to do is come down here, and these are the kinds of things that graders in math hate because they got to read through your stuff, and half the time your handwriting's worse than mine, which it shouldn't be. I'm writing on this weird graph thing. For some reason, math's not hard, but the graphing or the writing is, mostly because I just don't like to write that much. Oops, 2x plus 12, 2x plus 16, whatever, is equal to 31696. Multiplication's commutative too, so it doesn't matter what order I multiply in. So I'm going to get 4x squared plus 24x plus 32x plus, let's see, 16 times 12. 15 times 12 is 180. So plus 192 equals 396. Combined like terms, I get 4x squared plus 56x plus 192 equals 396. I'm on the end of my thing. Oh, great. I'm out of room. Subtract 396, and I get 4x squared plus 56x, let's see, minus 402, minus 204, equals 0. Take out a 4 because they all appear to have a 4 in common. Let's see. 4 would go in there 14 times. Minus, let's see, 4 goes into 250, so this would be 51 equals 0. Now I'm going to bring this over here to factor, get it away from my big head, get you a different color. So we'll go 4. Now they have to multiply to x squared, so that's not a problem, x and x. They got to multiply to negative 51 and add up to 14, so that would be positive 17 and negative 3. And you can check my math. 17 times 3 is 51. 17 minus 3 is 14. So my two answers are x equals negative 17, which is stupid, and x equals 3. So my x value I get is 3. But I'm not done yet, kids. It said determine and state the width of the walkway in meters. So the width of the walkway was 12 plus 2x. It did say the width was originally 12, right? Wow, they really could get you on this one. Because if you didn't know that the width is the smaller side, the width should almost always be the smaller side and the length should be the other one, you could actually get in trouble for this one. So the width is 2x plus 12, which is 2 times 3 plus 12, which is 18. So the width equals 18. Now I'm going to actually check this. The length then would be 2 times 3 plus 16. So that would be 6 plus 16, which is 22. And then I'll take my calculator out and I go 22 times, did we say 18? I don't even remember. 396. There it is. So there's the width. 18. All right, children, done. I got to stop. And so this is how I'm going to do my recordings. I got to stop every like 10 minutes. Yeah, he didn't even know I was gone for like 2 minutes to get that done. Okay, so what I got to do is I got to stop every like 2 problems or 1 problem. Probably stop every 1 problem now because these are getting long. And dump it over. That way my audio is in sync with my video and it looks rather professional rather than looks like a bum did it. Bums don't have sponsors like Dunkin' Donuts that don't pay them anything but have delicious coffee. All right. Caitlin has a movie rental card worth $175. Holy crap. I mean, I'd like a movie card for $175. You'd be like going to the movies. You'd like free dates forever. So, hey, Mary, would you like to go to the movies? I have a movie card for $175. Why, sure. Wait, no, not at all. Anyway, I don't know. It's early and the coffee's flowing. All right. She rents the first movie and the value is, and now the card's value is this. And then she rents the next movie and now it's values. Oh, this is your rental card. You can't even go to the movies. Oh, I thought it was going to the movies. So what we got to figure out is what each of these movies costs. And it looks like it's a consistent amount. So take 172.25. Figure out what that is. So 175 minus 172.25 is at 2.75. So it looks like $2.75, but we should check that. 172.25 minus 169.5. I believe that is also. So 172.25 minus 169.5. Yeah. So a rental is $2.75. If you look at the last one, it's the same thing. So that's what our movie costs per rental. Now, anytime it's per rental, this is going to be the thing that gets multiplied by X, or in this case, N. So assuming the pattern continues, write an equation to define A sub N. If you don't use A sub N, you're going to lose points. So we got to come up with A sub N. So A sub N is equal to how much money she has after N rentals. Okay? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to keep subtracting off $2.75. So we're going to start with $175. And we're going to keep subtracting off $2.75. Now, it's $2.75 per movie. And since it's per movie, that's the thing that gets multiplied by the N. So that per or each or something like that, that ought to signify that's the thing that's going to get multiplied. So in this case, that's actually our slope. So there's our equation. I think that's all I want to do. Oh, see, I didn't even write A sub N. I just wrote A. See, that would be a problem. I have to write actually A sub N. Just like that. All right. Caitlin rents a movie every Friday night. How many weeks in a row can she afford to rent a movie before her rental card? Oh, using only her rental card. Explain how you arrived at your solution. Well, my explanation is going to be my mathematics. And what I want to do is I want to take this $175 minus 2.75N, and it has to be greater than or equal to 0. So part of my exclamation, once it is 0, she is out of moolah. So if I solve this, I don't like having my things negative, so I'm going to bring this thing over to the other side by adding 2.75N. I know you guys like to see that work. I always tell my trig kids, stop showing that work. 2.75N. Then I'm going to divide by 2.75N. Oh, not N, just 2.75. Don't divide by N. That would be embarrassing. I almost did that. I always yell at my kids for doing that. So these go, and I take 175 and I divide it by 2.75, and I think it's 63, 63, 63, 63, so 63.63, 63, 63, whatever, greater than or equal to N. I don't like the way this looks, so I'm going to rewrite it and say N. Now notice the little pointy parts pointing towards the end, so make sure you do that when you flip the whole thing around. N is less than or equal to 63.63. So she doesn't quite have enough money to buy that 64th rental. She can only purchase like 63% of that 64th rental. So Caitlin, good old Caitlin, can rent movies, or not movies, a movie. It's every Friday night, right? Every Friday night for the next 63 weeks. She does not have enough money left on, let me just move this up a little bit. There's my answer last time. She doesn't have enough money left on the card for the 64th week. Ka-ching, finish, something like that. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'll be right back. So let's talk about animal shelters. I got a doggy. I should have my doggy down here. Someday, maybe I'll put my doggy on a video. Oh, I got cute dogs. Actually, two cute dogs. One's a wiener dog. She's kind of annoying. And one's a big dog. Don't know what his nationality, just don't know what his breed is. But he's cute. Anyway, an animal shelter spends $2.35 per day to care for each cat. Cats aren't my favorites, kids. $5.50 for each dog. I love dogs. Dogs come out and play with you. Cats like, psh, where's my food? Psh, I'm in charge. Psh, I'm the boss. Cats or dogs are much nicer. Pat noticed that the shelter spent $89.50 caring for the dogs on Wednesday. Write an equation. Now, this word equation means you doggone, doggone, hey, you cat dog, doggone, better have an equal sign in your equation. Otherwise, it's not an equation. So if there's some reason we don't have an equal sign here, something's wrong. To represent the possible number of cats and dogs that could have been in the shelter on Wednesday. Okay, this isn't too bad. But you got to let it know what your variables are going to read. Right? So we're going to see let C equal number of feline cats. And let D equal number of Dawson dogs. All right, so 2.35 cats plus 5.50 dogs is equal to 89.50. Woo! Why are you giving all that space for? That's it. That's it. See how there's an equal sign? 89.50. Bam! That was simple. Next question. Pat said, now Pat's not very smart. Pat's not very smart. Pat said there might have been 8 cats and 14 dogs on the shelter on Wednesday. Are Pat's numbers possible? Explain. Use your equation to justify your answer. Yeah, Pat's not very smart. So let's see. 2.35 cats. So we're going to do 2.35 times the 8 cats plus 5.50 times the 14. Does it equal, question mark, 89.50? So we'll go over to the calculator and we'll do 35 times 8 equals 1880 plus 5.5 times, was it 10? 55. It's 14. This is what happens when you get old, kids. Holy mackerel. I mean, literally, I just said that equation less than a minute ago, and I've already forgotten all the numbers. Man, 77 buckaroos. does it equal 8950? So to this, we're going to add, ding, 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 this. And we get 9580 does not equal 8950. So I'm not done because I haven't actually answered the question. Like, you can do all this cool work, and if you don't answer the question, guess what? You lose points. You have to answer the question. So no, Pat should stay in school. This is not possible. And whoever hired Pat probably questioning his hiring ability. So no, she should stay in school. It's not possible. And we just did the way. So we answered the question. We justified it with math, and we answered the question. And you know what? Have a little fun. Do you have any idea how boring it is to sit in a math office with a whole bunch of other math geeks and grade papers? It's not a lot of fun. There's some people that really take it seriously. And then there's people like me that get a problem like this and crack up. Like, if I had a kid do this, say something like this in a test, you know, I would just crack up laughing. I'd probably be spitting my Dunkin' Donuts, my Dunkin' Donuts guy. I hope it's not Dunkin' Donuts. My Dunkin' Donuts coffee all over the table because it'd be so funny. All right. So later, Pat found a record showing there were a total of 22 cats and dogs at the shelter on Wednesday. How many cats were in the shelter on Wednesday? So here's how we're going to do this. We know that cats plus dogs equals 22. We also know that $2.35 times the cats plus $5.50 times the dogs is equal to $89.50. I hope that number's right. I've only written it like 8 times. So we're going to solve a system of equations by the elimination method. Now, I could do this a different way, but I'm going to do it this way. So the easiest way to do that is to take this equation and multiply it. That's not good. That's not changing the color enough. By negative $2.35. Now, the reason I want it negative is because it'll be, when I put it together with that positive $2.35, the C's or the cats go away. Yes, the cats are gone. Okay, I'm way too excited about getting rid of the cats. Not that crazy. Negative 2.35C. Remember, we're going to distribute it. Distribute it here, and distribute it there. Minus 2.35D equals, I have no idea. By the way, we should probably be getting rid of the dogs instead of the cats, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Negative 2.35, negative 5170, negative 5170. And the other equation we'll just copy down, 2.35C plus 5.50D equals 8950. Now all we're going to do is add these together. So we add these go away. 5.5 minus 2.35, 265. So 265, I just wanted that number in there. D equals 89.50. Use your calculator. Even on this easy math, use your calculator, and you'll see why in a minute. Enter. I shouldn't be subtracting. We're adding. I forgot we were adding. It's actually subtracting in this case, but we're actually adding. Delete, plus, boom. 3780. Now we're going to divide. So we're going to take this. This is why I like to do this. I'm going to take this, enter, and I'm going to divide it by, because you need these numbers anyway. We're going to divide by 2.65, and we find out I made a mistake. Okay, I had to pause that for a second. Want to see, this is such a dumb mistake that this is the kind of thing that drives me crazy, and this is the reason why it's very difficult sometimes to get a 100 on the test. My mistake is right here. and hopefully some of you saw it when they were doing. You're like, oh my God, this guy's trying to teach us, and he put in 5 minus 2.35. It's not 5 minus 2.35. It's 5.5. I think I actually put the point in there and forgot the 50. So when I take 5.50 minus 2.35, I get $3.15. So this number should really be 3.15. And then we'll take the 3780, wherever that 3780, there it is, 3780, and we'll divide by, and we get 12. I knew it turned out to be something like that. So D equals 12. So there are 12 dogs. And if there are 12 dogs and there's a total of 22, then there's got to be 10 cats. The question says, how many cats were in the shelter? So, on Wednesday. So, there were 10 cats in the shelter on Wednesday. Boom, done. Man, do I hate when I make dumb mistakes. All right, I'm back. You didn't even know I left. I can't blow this one up too much because we need the graph as much as possible. So now we're at 6-point questions, kids. So there is going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of nitpicky things that they're going to want you to do, and you got to be real careful with this. So just be careful. We have 2 functions. Let's see what we got here. Company is considering building a manufacturing plant. They determine the weekly production cost of site A. So A sub x, A of x is equal to 3x squared, while the production site for B is B of x is equal to 8x plus 3, where x is represented the product in hundreds and the production cost in hundreds of dollars. All right, graph the production cost functions on the set of axes below. So my domain, it looks like, is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I probably would, let me use green. I probably would want to type these into my calculator and figure out what they are. But these aren't too bad. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my domain. I mean, it's clear from down here that my number of products is going to either be from 0 to 400. So if I plug in 0, I get 0. If I plug in 1, I get 3. If I plug in 2, 2 squared is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. If I plug in 3, 3 squared is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And if I plug in 4, 4 squared is 16. 16 times 3 is 48. So I'm going to plot those points, and we're going to do the green graph. We're going to label it 1, 3. Now, let's see. You got to be careful because each box represents 2. At 2, we're going to 12, so there's 10. 12, try to be accurate. 3 is 27. Let's see, that's 20. 2, 4, 6, 7. And 4, 48. So I'm going to graph this one. Now, it's very difficult to graph using this pen. I actually have to look at the screen. I'm not looking at the paper. I'm trying to get that dot to go. All right, that's not bad. So now I'll grab red, and we'll do the same thing for red, x, and y. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 0 here is 3. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 3 is 19. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 3 is 27. And 4 times 8 is 32, plus 3 is 35. So 8 is going to start at 0, 3. 111, 219, 327, and 4 is 35. 2, 4, 5. So this should be a very straight line because this is a linear function. Man, I'm doing pretty good there. All right, so I need to label these. Even though I did these in color, I probably should label these A of x and B of x. And is there anything else on this page? No, but we're gonna have to come back to this graph because we have to go over to the next page and see what the heck they want. So it says, state the positive value of x for which the production costs the equal amount. Explain how you determined your answer. So what we're looking for, kids, is obviously where they intersect. When do they have the same amount? They have the same amount at 3, but you have to be careful. It's 3 in hundreds. So when I come back over here, it says state the positive value of x for which the production costs are equal. So you can't say 3 because x is in terms of hundreds. So you just have to say when x equals 3 or 300 products produced, the 2 production costs are the same. Now, I've answered part of the question. It said, explain how you determine your answer. I know this. How about this? To answer this question, I determined where the intersection point was of the 2 graphs. This is what they're looking for, that intersection point. That's it. Done. If the company plans to manufacture 200 products per week, which site should they use? Justify your answer. They should use. Now, if we go back to our graph and we want to look at 200, look at 200. Where? Oh, there we go. Man. At 200, you can clearly see that the red one, or B of x, costs a lot more than A of x. So the answer should be, they should use A of x. A of x is the green one, right? They should, if they're only planning on manufacturing 200 per week, they should use A of x because it's lower. So it doesn't say use the graph. So they should use company A since their production costs for 200 products is, and if you looked at it, it was $700. $700 cheaper than company B. That's it. I mean, you can go back and look at the graph. It's 700. At 2, this is 19, which is 1,900, and this is 1,200. So that's $700 cheaper. All right, that's it. That's all she wrote. That's the end of that test. Oh my gosh, I hope you guys crushed it. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Comment me if you have some comments. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. Don't ask me to solve all your ills and woes, but I can certainly answer some questions. But hit that subscribe button. It allows me to do a few extra things on YouTube. And next year when you're doing geometry, maybe you'll see me around again. All right, kids, goodbye. It's been fun and it's been real, but yeah, it's been real fun. Bye. No, bye. No, really, bye. Go. 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 I'm not hanging up first. You got to hang up first. You hit the... I'm not hanging... All right, bye.